Hello, everyone. Let me begin by telling you what I have done so that we can head towards the finals for the remaining 6 weeks of instruction. As you probably now realize, this particular course is now online, and I have tried to make it as workable as is possible, both from your side and mine. But let me begin with the office hours. They are no longer face to face, they are going to be electronic, and I'm going to give you a series of options for you to avail yourselves in order to get in touch with me. The electronic office hours are now on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, starting from 9 in the morning until 11:15 a.m. You can book yourselves in using Doodle Poll appointment scheduling, and I will be sending you a short notice concerning the URL that you can use to book yourselves in for half-an-hour slots, and then get in touch with me using a variety of technological media. One is my cell phone, which is 619-990-4224. Or you can use Skype, which is, and the address is live colon dada underscore 4. Again, that information is being provided to you on a separate email. Should you receive an email from me, and I think these will now be, I'm afraid, quite frequent, you will see all of this information at the bottom as a byline. So, to repeat again, the telephone number is 619-990-4224, and the electronic office hours are on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, starting from 9 a.m. until 11:15 a.m. So that's that for, excuse me, for the office hours. Let me now go on to the schedule of classes and or course materials that you need to cover. As you probably know and are aware from the previous iteration of the syllabus, version number 6, this one is now considerably pared down so that we can achieve as much as we can under the circumstances for the next 6 weeks. So I have eliminated all group projects from the course, and I have also extended certain deadlines so that you can manage these or manipulate these the best way you can, given the rather challenging circumstances that we all are facing or will be facing as this viral crisis continues to bite into everybody's both pocket and comfort. To begin with, on March the 17th, which happens to be today, incidentally, you will be viewing a movie. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, 2 movies. The one is on chemistry science in the Golden Age, the search for the Philosopher's Stone. And in addition to that, I stand corrected, just 1 movie and not 2. In addition to that, you will also be reading 2 articles in the folder under Islamic astronomy and Islamic mathematical sciences. And the URL for that is on the Google, and you will find that in the newly printed, newly PDF'd attachment, which you will be receiving very shortly. On March the 19th, which is 2 days from now, You will be submitting, therefore, the film review before midnight on The Philosopher's Stone. The Turnitin Class ID and the password remain the same, namely the class Turnitin ID is 234199790, and the password is all capitals STEM, STEM. Now, on March the 26th, which will be next week, you will have a midterm. It's an individual submission, and that particular submission is on the 26th of March, as I said. Note that the group submission is eliminated, and here is the title of the question that you will be addressing. Using the audiovisual as well as textual materials that we have covered in class, discuss both the House of Wisdom and the translation movement, and demonstrate with the culture of evidence how activities of these two entities changed the West or Western science. Very clearly, this means the following, that you will be covering first and foremost in your essay the activities and or the formation of the House of Wisdom. Then you will tackle the translation movement within that House of Wisdom and how that translation movement created new forms of both learning and discoveries. And then tell us in the final section of your midterm examination how these activities and these discoveries pioneered the changing, Western society, culture, and sciences. Again, the Turnitin Class ID I have provided to you, and the password remains the same, STEM. March the 31st, the university is closed. It's a Cesar Chavez University holiday. And then on the 2nd of April, you will be viewing Pioneers of Engineering, Al-Jazari and the Banu Musa. And this is a fairly reasonable length video. And in addition to that, you will be reading articles in Islamic chemistry and pharmacology, which I have provided you in a folder, in the Google Drive. On Wednesday, therefore, of April 8, you will submit that film review before midnight. And please note two things that are very critical. One is that you must submit your review with a self-evaluating rubric that I provided to you. If you don't have that, then I suggest that you get in touch with a colleague who can provide you with a copy of it. Do not submit into the Turnitin.com your film reviews without that. In addition, please note, do not send me attachments, in an email. Those are unacceptable, and you should by now know that that is just adding more work needlessly on your part and on mine, because once it is rejected, you will be asked to you will go to Turnitin and add to it. By this time, you should have resolved the problems, of access and so on and so forth. Hang on in there for a second. We then reach April the 14th to the 16th, that particular week, which is the week 13th of the university, which in theory is the spring break. I say in theory largely because I am sure that, like me, you will be practicing social distancing. You will be making sure that you have taken care of yourself. You will be making sure that you are not engaging in any kind of pandemic promoting behavior in terms of social distancing and so on. That's very important, and I think this is also an opportunity, for you to contact with loved ones and friends and check up on them on using social media of various kinds, so that they too are safe and engaging in healthy practices. When you come back from the spring break on the 22nd of April, you will be submitting your film review of The Decline of Islamic Science before midnight, and that's before midnight. Again, a reminder, cannot submit this review without submitting your self-assessed rubric. It's unacceptable. So make sure that you do that. On the 23rd of April, we then go into watching a movie, a very well-known movie on Ibn Haytham and the optics, the way that he actually used glass with a view to furthering both vision and and science. And so, in addition to that, you will be reading on two subjects that are very rarely covered as extensively as we are trying to do it here, which is on Islamic cartography and on applied earth sciences, the way in which early Abbasid regime, had furthered the knowledge and understanding of the world, as well as that of the early earth sciences and resource management. On the 29th of April, then you will submit the review of that movie, which then takes us into the 30th of April. I'm just sort of rubbing my nose, which I shouldn't be doing, now. So, on Islamic science in the West. And here we will be looking at the impact of Islam on European, what the Europeanist historians call Renaissance, but which can arguably be said that it is a naissance, since what the Islamic House of Wisdom and the translation movement had done was more than just quite simply translate earlier works in science, technology, medicine, and engineering, but they had added to it, value added to it, with new discoveries of knowledge, and our epistemic understanding of the world was dramatically increased as a result. On May 6th, it is, I believe, your final film review that you will be putting together and submitting it before midnight, and that May 6th is a Wednesday. We are now on the week 16th, technically speaking. As you probably gathered, we have lost 1 week, for the spring break. Your finals have been pushed forward. That is to say, the earlier timetable that we had put together when we put this class as a real-time class, it has now been pushed to the 19th of May, and I would suggest that you then have, in effect, 13 days from the submission of your last film review to prepare for the finals. This particular final is an individual submission. There is no such thing as a group submission, as you know, because a group submission would have engaged you all in a highly risky, socially connected behavior. And so the question that you have for the final is as follows: demonstrate with culture of evidence advances in medicine and pharmacology in Muslim history and their impact on Western medicine. You want to address this final question using film reviews, films that you have reviewed, as well as the text read for this course. So I would very strongly suggest to you that you will be therefore going back to the Google Drive documents and fish out the subfolders on pharmacology and medicine and read those fairly carefully. As you know, citations, from films need to appropriately follow the Chicago style of manual for films, and the texts, of course, text-based citations. These should be footnoted, not endnoted. Mark, please. And your your both midterm and finals should be on a single-spaced, 1 inch all around, Garamond 11 pitch or Times Roman. Garamond is preferable. Time pitch will do. And of course, works cited and books and or other reviews, that you have utilized. You are very much encouraged to use the materials that are not cited in this course, and I would strongly urge you, to make it as scholarly a presentation as you could conceivably make. Note that I have circulated for you in the syllabus version 06 the key performance indicators that I would be looking that I will be using rather for grading for both your midterm and your final. So it's worth recapping, or rather reviewing, what those key performance indicators are, which I distributed to you much earlier when we were having a live session. I'll be looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 broad categories of performance or evidence, so that you are performing either strongly or not so, or somewhat. And they are related to historical complexity, that is to say, to what extent you show a clear grasp of complex issues undergirding the history of this particular period. Number 2, I will be looking for historiography, that is to say, an evidence that your paper demonstrates an awareness of major and current discourses in the field, particularly by focusing on causes, changes that propelled the history of this period concerning science, technology, and medicine. I'll be looking for identification and development of events, that is to say, to what extent your paper correctly handles historical events and development in accordance with established geographical markers, and most importantly, in a systematic way. And then I really would like to see some evidence of your capacity for research skills. That is to say, an ability to conduct research of complex issues using secondary and primary sources in translation. Here, I think you will find the textual use of the documents I provided on the Google Drive very, very critical. And then finally, I am looking for an evidence of organization, syntax, and allied subject matters. That is to say, to what extent is this paper really professionally presented, and to what extent you have given really great care by getting rid of syntactical, grammatical, and stylistic errors, and had somebody such as a friend remotely edited your work and so forth. Bear in mind, editing your text before you submit it is quite simply very critical to your learning process. So here then is effectively the changes that I have put forward. In conclusion, what I would suggest to you is that I have markedly pared down what we were going to do in class when we met on a regular basis every week, and therefore eliminated everything that has to do with group work, and really I have taken great care to ensure that your time is spent purposefully and that you have got enough energy and time left, to devote to other things that are also fairly critical and important, as we move through uncertain times. I really do wish you my very best. Please know that I am here to help. Please also know that I do care, and please know that in these hard times, it is very easy to lack compassion, for on one's lack compassion for others and for oneself as well. Period. Where you can delay, personal reproaches, I think, it would be best to do so. And more importantly, it does not really cost a great deal to be kind, compassionate, and caring as we move forward, to some uncertain times and uncharted territories. Know I am here to help. And also know that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays from 9 until 11:15, I am entirely at your disposition, and my time is exclusively yours. Though understand if I don't respond to you in a phone call or an email, it's largely because someone is ahead of the queue. Be safe and be well, and go out there and conquer the world and be kind.